And now for a new local retro act, Peanut Butter and Jelly.
Born to be with you. By your side, satisfied through and through, 'cause I was born to be with you. Wondrously, love can see. So I knew that I was born to be with you. I find peace of mind. Yes, I do, 'cause I was born to be with you. All right through, yes, I was born to be with you.
Where am I? The last thing I remember, I was being sent to the babysitters. Then all of a sudden, I'm here. I don't think this is Waterford.
Far from it.
Who? Jenny. What? How? Wait, you're...
Yes, I am.
Am I?
No, you're not. Let's just say it's a gift.
From who?
You'll find that out later.
To whom?
To us. You, me, others not present.
Being dead hasn't changed you. You still don't answer any question put to you.
Death is a doorway. Who we were, who we are, isn't changed by walking through it, any more than walking through a door on Earth makes you any different. It just takes you from one room to the next. The light that shines on you is a bit different though, isn't it?
I don't understand.
You will, in time. It's not important presently.
Then what is? If I'm not dead, why am I here?
To give you what you need, what you've needed for a long time, but most especially, now.
And that is?
Since you've been given a chance at a new start on Earth, it was seen appropriate that you truly be given a clean slate. It was decided that you be given this time to clear your conscience of any misgivings about me, as well as give us a chance to say our goodbyes.
Goodbyes, but I don't want to leave. I want to stay here with you, Jenny.
You can't, Jason. Things like that. It's not up to me. You've got a life to live. A life on Earth. I've got a destiny of my own to fulfill. We've two different worlds. They have to separate for a while, but I promise you they'll cross again. But for now, we have to go our own ways. But for this one moment in time, we have a few moments to finally clear the air over what happened that final day. We were both together on Earth.
Don't say it.
The day I died, Jason.
No.
It was an accident, Jason. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't anyone's fault. It was simply a part of what was meant to be, as a part of creation. We had no more control over that day's events than we do of tomorrow's right now. We live in the moment, but we don't control the moments.
But we could if we tried.
You did. And where did that get you?
I see your point.
You must let nature take its course. Let life go on as it's meant to. Be a part of life, Jason, but don't try to force life to your will. If you do, life will stand up and bite back and send you flying away, just as your friend, the Overseer, is about to find out.
We could have saved you, changed everything if we'd succeeded.
No, you couldn't have. I am where I belong. Nobody can change his will for me, Jason. Nobody.
You're happy, then, where you are?
Yes, very, very happy.
And you don't hate me for what I did? What I said on the day you...
I've never hated you, Jason. You're my brother. How could I?
Oh, Jenny, thank you. Thank you so much. When I was a little bitty baby, my mama would rock me in the cradle in them old cotton fields back home. It was down in Louisiana, just about a mile from Texarkana, in them old cotton fields back home. Oh, when...
Still no sign of Jason?
I wish there were. The calm before the storm is just, I don't know, mind-blowing. You know the winds that can destroy you are about to hit, and all you can do is sit there and wait for them. I know that Jason won't be in any condition to...
We do what we must, what we're told. It's all that's expected of us. It's all we are able to do. That's why we're here, Jingles. If we weren't capable, Ariel would have chosen others. She has great faith in both of us to entrust such an important task to the two of us.
Yes, I know. I guess I'm just impatient.
Such is youth, Jingles. Wanting of action. As you grow older, you learn to accept things as they are, and not to rush fate from its nesting place.
I can't wait to be older then.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I do. The bathroom is all situated for... well, I don't know what for. I just know we'll need scalding hot water. Are you sure you're able to handle the temperatures we've discussed? If something goes wrong, nobody on Earth will be able to help you with water that hot. I don't even know how Jason will be able to survive.
You take care of the mechanics of the task. I'll see to Jason. Have no worries about me. This old biddy has seen a lot in her day. but she's still got a few surprises up her sleeve.
As the mother of Captain Orville M.T, I have no doubt of that, ma'am. You've already proven to me that you are one to be admired and held in esteem.
Thank you, Jingles, but I am only me. If I do a good job, that's reward enough in my eyes.
It's no wonder that, never mind.
No, what is it, Jingles? Go ahead.
It's just that this younger version of Orville is so much like you. I can see how he's your son. He's like you in mind and spirit. I just don't see any similarity to the person he eventually becomes. How did it happen? What caused someone to go from being like you to becoming someone like...
Oh, well, that's a story that we'll have to wait for another occasion. It's a long, long tale to tell. I'm not sure we've the time to get into it now. But someday when this whole affair with Jason and what comes next is resolved, I'd be happy to tell you a little about my son's descent.
There, that should do it. The cure is born. Never again shall one on this beautiful blue marble in the ocean of space have to worry about the curse of carbuncles. I'll just let this ferment for a time, and we'll see how the next generation of nuclei do at attacking the follically challenged.
Wendell is sure loving it here, Mama Bear. I can't thank you enough for taking us in like this. It's more than I could have ever hoped for in a million years. When I dropped him off here, I'd hoped you'd take him in. I just never thought for a moment that somehow I'd end up here too. I just can't thank you enough for both of us.
Don't mention it, child. When I lost Bunsen, a big hole was left in my life. I figure, with you and little Wendell coming here, maybe this is the Lord's way of making that up to me. I lost my child, but here you two are, not to mention Ginny and Sylvester too. I've suffered the worst loss any mother ever could. Yet still, my cup runneth over. The good Lord does not forget his own.
I'll have to take your word on that, Mama. I haven't been in church in a while.
When you're ready, we can tend to that. Concentrate on getting your strength back first. You were weak as a kitten when you first came to us. I'm kind of astonished that you are up and around already. You must be one strong-willed woman, Margaret.
That's what my husband used to say.
Used to? Is he?
No, he's just gone.
I see, I'm sorry. We don't need to get into it now if you'd rather not.
Not really.
That's fine, there's plenty of time. Plenty of time. No rush for anything. Then would you mind if I ask you something?
Not at all, Mama Bear.
How on earth did you get in the situation that you are in? Out on the street, driving around in the cold, leaving your child here with strangers, then finally collapsing on Mervin's doorstep of all places.
Oh yeah, you do deserve an explanation on all that, don't you?
If you're up for it. If not, it can certainly wait. But I am understandably curious.
It's all right. It's not much of a story, though. After my husband left, it was just me and Wendell. When I was working... I was working, but it wasn't like I could take him to work with me. I couldn't afford to work and have a babysitter take care of him, so I ended up losing the job. Not long after I lost the apartment, too.
Oh dear.
We ended up living out of my car. I had a little money left over from working. I could drive around, keep the motor running, pull into rest stops, fast food places, 24-hour stores to warm up, but the money ran low, so I knew I couldn't keep Wendell. I couldn't take care of him. I overheard some women in a grocery store talking about you, Mama Bear,
about you had taken in a child with AIDS.
Sylvester, my nephew.
Right. How you had fought for him. How you didn't let anyone push him or your family around. How your son Bunsen did the same thing before he died. So I knew that if anyone would take care of my baby, it would be you. I asked the ladies who you were, then I looked you up. I drove around town until I found your house, then...
You left Wendell on my doorstep.
Yeah, not long after my car broke down and I was on foot. I walked back to this neighborhood to see if I could catch a glimpse of Wendell outside, but I couldn't. I finally ended up down the street. I was kind of out of it, hungry, cold. I knocked on someone's door. That's all I remember. The next thing I really remember is waking up and seeing Wendell next to me on Christmas morning.
That Lazar, he put two and two together. Whenever he and Jingles come together, something good seems to happen. Those two boys are something special, all right.
I'm glad they did. Come together, as you say, or else I may never have come out of my coma. Or at least if I had, things might not have worked out as well as they have. I owe those two little guys so much.
Oh, think nothing of it, Margaret. They are always doing good deeds. You don't owe them a thing but to get well and take care of your baby. But still, it seems like there's something you're not telling me. Your job, I would have thought they'd work with you in such a time of distress. Why wouldn't they reach out and help you?
It was an awful job, Mama Bear. My boss wasn't interested in me or my excuses for not being able to work. He just wanted me there, and that was that. If I couldn't be there and perform, end of story. I couldn't very well bring Wendell with me and keep an eye on him and work. So, there you have it. I lost the job, just doing laundry, but even so, it was money.
You couldn't get something else?
No, not really.
Why not, child?
Well, truth be told, Mama, I can't read.
I thought it was something like that.
So I just take whatever I can get. When my husband was here, when he could watch Wendell at night, it was one thing. But without someone, it's just impossible.
You won't be able to make it far in this world without being able to read, child. It's a sad truth, but so much more to it than that. Reading enables you to enjoy a story, to transport yourself into other worlds you would otherwise never know, to escape into other times. It doesn't just enable you to learn, but to get away from life and its problems. You miss out on a lot when you don't know your ABCs, child. When Bunsen was alive, he worked on restoring old educational films with Lazar and Jingles. One of the last ones he worked on was about this very subject. Well, not reading, but about the importance of education. Reading is a part of it, though. Let me bring it up on his monitor, and I'll begin to play it for you, Margaret.
Hey, look at that over there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Joe, how's your rod turning on these days?
Oh, crazy, man. Huh, baby?
It's like a dream. And is it fast? Especially since you souped it up.
What'd you do to hop it up anyway, Joe?
Oh, I picked up a couple of jugs over here. Got a real neat bargain on it, too.
Oh, yeah?
You don't have to worry about money now that you've got the paycheck coming in every week, Joe.
I've got that job lined up at the Olympic Cleaners. If it comes through, Mo Man says I can quit school.
Yeah, but who wants to work in a smelly old laundry?
Well, it's better than going to school, isn't it? School is for kids.
And what do you think you are?
Come on, lay off, will you? It doesn't matter how he makes it, just as long as he gets a buck. That's what I always say.
Boss told me he was going to give me a job driving a delivery truck now. Raising pay.
Crazy.
Yeah. Hey, I can go up to the gas station and buy gas from you now.
Yeah, but, Well, I don't work at the gas station anymore. But I got a better job, all lined up now, all set up. Having a baby.
You bet he has.
Joe Conklin is one. Mike here is another. High school dropouts, boys in men's jobs. Not good jobs, of course, but jobs with paychecks that can buy an old jalopy or pay for its gas, or cover the tab on a big Saturday night. They're not bad boys, these dropouts, not delinquents, not hoods, not yet, that is. They may not even be stupid or backward or lazy. This is Pete, a nice boy, as a matter of fact, just one of almost 1 million American youngsters who didn't make the grade at high school last year. What makes a school casualty? This is harder work than Bill might be doing in a classroom right now. What makes him trade English, math, history, science for a broom and $1.10 an hour? Why is a dropout? School people in many American cities have been asking this question, checking cases like this one, doing research, thinking hard about so terrible a waste of youth, so big a leak in our manpower reserve, so great a failure in our educational system. But the reasons why 1/3 of these students will leave school without diplomas are not simple. You can't put all the blame on the individual pupil or his family, or on our schools, or on our economic or our social system. Many hidden forces may be pushing this Jack or that Jill to the point of giving up. Dropouts, educators have found, just don't happen overnight. They take years to develop. Let's go back to the childhood of Joe Conklin, dropout.
Did you talk to McGinnis about the new job?
No, I thought I'd wait.
Wait for what? Your whole life is going by. Pretty soon it's going to be too late.
Look, will you leave me alone? I just want to wait.
Well, what do you...
Joe learned quite early in life that the name Conklin was not something to be proud of.
Look, I'm doing the best I can.
That's just the trouble. You are doing the best you can. It isn't very much, is it? In this day and age, how anybody can make a lousy $68 a week, I don't understand. Everybody's making money, but you know, everything's good enough for you.
If you take after your father, it can only mean you're stupid. And yet a small boy needs a man to take after. Someone to respect and learn from.
I'm getting sick of this.
Are you through now?
And the kids are beginning to take after you, too. What kind of an example are you setting for them? They aren't doing their work. They're getting behind in school. I had to go see Joe's teacher the other day.
I'll get him to do his lessons.
Not all dropouts come from homes as unhappy as Joe's, but most of them do have parents who feel they are economic and social failures, who never read a book, who consider school a necessary nuisance, a waste of time.
He's just taking after his stupid, no-good father.
Why don't you lay off me? I'm so stupid and you're so smart. You and your smart family, you got 2 brothers on relief.
Even in those years, way back, Joe was in trouble in the classroom. He had a pretty good head for figures, but you can't be any good in arithmetic if you can't read the problem.
Addition.
Point C, a
Bridge.
1/8 mile
Long.
must be
Built.
over a ravine.
Would someone else like to come up and help us with our problem?
A teacher with 45 youngsters to handle just isn't able to spend enough time on a 5th grade boy who can't read.
In addition, at Point C, a bridge 1/8 of a mile long must be built over a ravine. The extra charge estimated by the subcontractor is $8,000.
So by the age of 10, Joe was already starting to become a failure in terms of the school situation. He didn't like the kids who showed him up so easily. He didn't like teachers who seemed bent on making a fool of him. Not all his classmates were bright, but if they could read, they could get along. Many of them needed more help than they could get in the overcrowded classroom. Quite a few were working well below their intelligence levels. They all needed encouragement and higher standards to push them to their real learning potential. But there was no time for individual teaching. At least they could read. They had the key to the door of learning. But children like Joe just floundered in a sea of dancing letters that wouldn't shape themselves into words and sentences. If Joe had lived in another city, he might have found his way into a remedial reading class like this one. For many children have trouble translating the written word into sound and meaning. Today, most schools provide special help for such children. Most of us caught the knack of learning to read early and easily. We never think of reading as a complicated function of eye, ear, speech organs, brain, memory, and motivation. But for those who have trouble in any one of these areas, learning to read is a formidable process, a bitter, painful struggle.
There must be some word wrong. What word is this?
For it was late. For it was late.
For starts with an F, doesn't it, Jim? This starts with a W-H. Like why or when.
It was late. When?
All right.
When poor readers are helped, they not only improve in all their other subjects, but their attitude toward school and often to life is greatly changed. The ability to read is a source of inner strength, a power that no one can take away.
Is long. Did you just know it, or did you figure it out?
Well, no, not exactly. But you can tell the A is long because the E on the end.
All right, then that's our rule book. Next,
But these youngsters need the help that can only come from a specially trained teacher who has the time that it takes to move over one hurdle after the other, who has the techniques and the patience that are required, who is given the opportunity to work with each child as an individual problem.
think of a word that starts with the same sound that you can spell. When Kate, do you remember this was the girl's name? Think of the word the letter that starts Kate. Broke the plate. Do you remember the word we used to illustrate the beginning of plate? Something you like to do? By the gate. Think of a word that starts with the same sound as gate.
But such help takes planning and budget. Like 80% of our school dropouts, Joe was a problem reader whose problem was never solved. There are other forces that influence a small boy's attitude towards school. Pressures in the outside world. There are wonderful things in this world, and if you happen to be poor, the things seem more important than they are. A small boy is not unaware of our pressures to have, to get, to own things. In church, in newspapers, on television screens, juvenile delinquency and character breakdown are deplored. But on the street, in every town, we are hawking the tawdry wares of a spurious paradise. And no one is selling patience, hard work, higher values, let alone forbearance.
But look, it's on sale, half price. You can't afford not to at least look at it. Well, all right. Let's go in.
The Joes are affected more strongly than other children by such pressures because they are the have-nots, and their hungers are consequently sharper. Deprived of real love, of security, of the inner strength that comes from regular growth and achievement, they are quick to accept the idea that the adult world is a grab bag, and hence that grabbing is the quickest way of growing up.
Boy, that Sebastian's got it made. Take a look at this car.
I wonder what this set him back.
He told me he got a wonderful deal on it. 36 months to pay, too.
The Joes aren't stupid, boys. What's good for the goose can't be bad for the gosling. School, they say, is for kids. By the time Joe was 15, he was being kept in school by law. School to him was a battlefield, the scene of 100 lost campaigns. Was it any wonder he hated it, even then? He had no real friends, no interests in common with the youngsters who were winning their individual battles. He had no one to turn him around and guide him through the maze of his own confusion. Joe was alone and chose to spend much of his time alone. Hooky, we used to call it. Joe and his friends call it goofing off. By now, Joe was a fugitive from failure. It's not really fun, but at least you're out of prison, away from nagging parents, away from disappointed teachers splattering you with a steady stream of D's and F's. Who cares? Why worry about teachers? Life is short. The game may be pointless, but at least you win once in a while.
No!
What?
The giant mutant monster beast. She is in Waterford.
So what? That's where she usually hangs out. She loves scaring Lazar when he walks through the park.
She's been imprisoned in the park. She once chased Lazar around in.
Again, I say, so.
If you are to free her, you must go there. This is not good.
If I am to, why would I, Captain Orville M.T., want to waste my time and energies on a giant cat?
Because you said you would.
I agreed to help you stop the Overseer. I did. I agreed to help you with the oncoming tribulation. I will. What does that have to do with a giant cat roaming a park?
You must free the beast, as she is the only one who can send you through the door to the 7 rivers, the essences of which have been polluted by the Overseer. If you cannot repair the damage he has done, the coming tribulation you've been warned of will occur.
I am not an errand boy, Ariel. I am not Bunsen. I don't take orders. I give them.
Bunsen serves the greater good in any capacity he can. You agreed to this as well. If you want to restore order to the worlds, you must act.
Why?
Young Sylvester recently took ill while brushing his teeth. What the Overseer placed in the ground by his continued misuse of nature's energy merged with every water molecule within Waterford's boundaries, and eventually made it into Sylvester's tap, and into Sylvester. His illness made him easy prey to what lay within Waterford's tainted groundwater.
This involves me how?
Whatever tainted Waterford's water and sent young Sylvester to the hospital will now spread first to surrounding communities, then to neighboring states, then to close countries, until the entire planet is infested with this plague. As plague spread, so will this one into the atmosphere, until it becomes so abundant it shakes the Earth off its axis and into interstellar space. Gravitational forces working on it from within and without, the Earth will be torn apart, What's left of it will be carried away by interstellar winds to every point in the universe, including and especially the plague.
I see.
Every planet, every star, every galaxy, every life in our universe, due to the nature of space, time, and gravity. This also means the plague will be carried to other universes as well, until all of creation is infected with this microscopic organism which originated on Earth in Waterford because of the overseer's meddling with magic and its ties to water and the giant mutant monster beast.
You could have told me all of this before. We could have stopped it before it got this bad, before the overseer polluted Waterford.
I did not know all this until now. When I accessed the crystal he had used against me, I only knew the 7 rivers were in danger. I did not know the severity of the danger. You must go and cleanse them, Orville. You must act, for if you do not...
Why don't you go? Why don't you act for once? Why does it always have to be someone else who acts?
Nobody has dared ask me this question before, Orville. Only you would have the audacity to. Yet one who would dare was foretold, and I was told long ago I would answer. I don't act outside my realm, Orville, because I cannot willingly leave my realm.
Oh, really?